Since when did being a lunatic, prevent you from being on television? People commit all sorts of crimes. We throw them in jail. We don't take them off television.
Welcome to NewsBeast. Today we're talking about Mitt Romney's strong showing in New Hampshire and the bubbling feud between Mitt and Newt, of all people, who continues to be in this race. But first, cheats. Jacob, what have you got?
Well, I'm kind of loving this Pat Buchanan controversy. Pat Buchanan has, it seems, been thrown off of MSNBC for making a number of horrible claims in his book, which is called The Suicide of a Superpower, and has chapters titled like The End of White America. And what he basically says is the end of white America is, or all this immigration is...
Didn't Pat Buchanan a few years ago say that he sympathized on some level with the Germans during the Holocaust? I think, why is this the thing that got him thrown off?
Well, that is my question. And also, since when did being a lunatic prevent you from being on television? I mean, people can commit all sorts of crimes. People commit all sorts of crimes. We throw them in jail. We don't take them off television.
Yeah, no, it's true. We try to put them on television.
Television.
Yeah, but
well, it'll be interesting to see what comes of that this week, because it seems like it's not going to simmer down. Lucas, what are you thinking about?
Just continuing in the theme of spats here, we've got Michelle Obama went on with Gayle King this morning and said that Jodi Kantor's new book on the Obama marriage is total baloney. She said, I'm quote, I'm not some angry black woman. And sort of accusing basically Kantor of kind of playing up to stereotypes and saying that Michelle's always upset with her husband's staff and argues with them and disagrees with them always. And she said, that's totally not true. I am who I am. I'm honest, I'm direct, but I'm not some sort of like raging.
Of course, she also said she hadn't read it, right?
This is exactly what I was going to say. So how does she know?
Well, she's been reading all the reports everywhere. It's been everywhere. So she's just reading the news.
What do you think the Obama White House is trying to do, positioning themselves against this book? I mean, they gave them a fair amount of, they gave Jodi a fair amount of access, didn't they?
They did for her first piece in the New York Times, but not then for this book.
And then they shut down.
She didn't actually interview.
She sold the book for some astronomical
huge amount of money. Well, everyone wants, this is like
it's true.
The biggest couple in the world.
I am going to talk about, I'm seizing the mic and I'm going to talk about, my cheat is actually an endorsement of the Scottish independence movement, which has burst onto the scene lately when the Scottish...
Anglophile like you.
An Anglophile. I have long argued for the freeing of the Scots. The Scottish National Party is delaying an independence vote by but David Cameron is making fun of them, calling it a referendum, not a never-endum. And basically, the Scots have they make some of their own laws and some of their own freedoms, and then they're tied to Britain for others. And Cameron's position is you're either in or you're out, and you got to tell us right now because it's going to cause all kinds of economic instability in the country. The Scots say no, we're going to do this on our own terms, and we're going to decide the degree of linkage we want to the United Kingdom.
But what does this actually mean? Isn't this kind of preposterous, Rebecca? I mean, they're not going to have their own defense force and things like that.
Why not? Why are they not going to have their own defense force? Well, there are lots of tiny little countries that have their own armies and do just fine.
Yeah, but Scotland's got, I mean, it doesn't really produce very much, right? Or really do very much. It's got beautiful places to go hiking and nice salmon and whiskey. I mean,
the Scottish are a proud people, and they deserve their freedom. We have one oppressed Scot in the newsroom right now, actually, and he's been agitating for free the Scots.
British intelligence, take note, please.
All right, let's go. Now we're going to let Matt have the final word on that. Our proud Scotsman.
I didn't even know there was a movement for free the Scots. I'm not even going to pretend that I knew about this and was simply saying silent. I didn't even know there was a movement.
You weren't even sure there was a
Jacob's been waiting to weigh in until he considered both sides of the story. All right, let's talk about Newt. Why we're still talking about Newt, I don't quite know, but he's gotten a $5 million infusion into one of his PACs.
From a billionaire.
And now Mitt, despite the fact that Newt did terribly in New Hampshire and doesn't show signs of doing much better anywhere else, there is a report out this morning from Politico that Mitt is actually most frightened of the coming barrage of really negative ads from Newt, despite the fact that Ron Paul is doing much better and Rick Santorum is still a presence.
I mean, Newt's got passion, intellectual force, and he's pissed off. So if I were Romney, I'd be very afraid.
So do you think Newt's going to hit the bane? So the the rhetoric leading up to New Hampshire was all about how Mitt Romney loved to fire people and he worked for this consulting company, and that seems to be like a really strong line of attack.
He's going all populist, and in South Carolina, I think that'll play very well because South Carolina's suffering. It's seen a lot of jobs lost to manufacturing declines, all of that, and you've got a guy going in there and saying, you know, Romney's just the kind of guy who basically lost you your job. So
yes, and you could see last night in Romney's speech that he effectively was already kind of playing to this idea, or playing against this idea of himself as a corporate raider, blah, blah, blah. And he used this term that I found fascinating, the politics of envy. And it was a very good speech. Everybody talked afterwards about what a good speech it was, but I did wonder what is going to happen in the general election when he is inevitably the nominee, and unemployment is at 9%, and here is Mitt Romney talking about the politics of envy, as if everybody who is pissed off in this country is merely envious of rich
Well, a couple of
people
points
like
to
him.
that. First of all, unemployment, if it rises back above 9%, will be after 4 years of an Obama presidency. And second of all, I think there's a good argument to be made that Mitt having to handle these questions now will make him stronger for the general.
And also, we all know how
Lucas,
flexible Mitt is, and so he'll just switch over to defending his business
that's
record
true.
in the general election.
He is pretty malleable.
He'll just kind of...
Okay, I've got to end this. Everybody's waving their arms. So guys, what's your one-word encapsulation of the Mitt-Newt squabble?
Over, please. 2 words.
Over, please. I like it. Lucas?
Fun.
You have a strange definition of fun. And I'm going to go with indomitable with 2 T's. That's all from us at NewsBeast. We'll see you next time. Indomitable. I've been preparing that since last night.
Yes, I could tell. We can all tell this is very well thought out.